looking at a shipment of books, Heartfelt to be precise, and actually at this moment I found that there was an error in the printing. So what I'm doing is I've got a new box here, and I'm going to see if these ones all have the error, or maybe they don't have the error. Regardless, when something like this happens, you don't have to become upset. It's not just an obstacle, it's an opportunity. So what I'll do is I'll communicate with the publisher and see what they can do. If they can bring some, print out some more copies for me. And this is the error. It's right at the title. It's supposed to say, obviously, heartfelt, but this part got a little bit dissolved there. So the proper way for it to look is like that. So let's see. So far, this many of them have errors, plus some of them that have already been sold. So let's see if these ones are with or without the error. And what's your guess? Do you think they're with the error or without? Let's see. We have an opportunity, people. They include the error. So I have a hefty serving of books here, and what I'll do is I'll update you and let you know what the publisher says. And this works for anything that you order online that's not what you expected or what was promised, any service that you receive. It's simply always healthy, actually, to share with the person with whom you're making a transaction that you are discontented, that something wasn't as promised, and then in that way they can actually help to correct that and actually to improve that relationship between you. And that's actually a much bigger deal than you realize. These subtle energies and these relationships that we have with people all throughout our network, they can only be helped and perfected. It's an opportunity. You see, I'm talking to myself because I really was hoping that this book would not have the errors in a realistic manner. Yeah, they all have the error. So I will count them, and I will give them a tally of the books, because this is also the page that I sign. So it's not just one page, it's the main page that people have the signature on.
It's the first page they might even be really seeing.
Yeah, and if they look at that, what? The title's not even clear.
By remembering, it's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity. Okay. Okay, so I'm still checking the books, and Elliot and I were discussing how, that is the page where I sign, and it's so important, and look at this stack of books right here that we have. So I open up this one. I don't know how many are more going to be like this, and I open it up to this page. And the font's like, whoa, what is that? And then I look here, whoa, that's not me at all. And then look at this. Ah, whoa, Russia, that's where Elliot's family's from. What? And then this is cool. Elliot didn't even see this yet. Fulfilling God's will. Now, clearly this is an entire book. Wow, but look at the title. Fulfilling God's will. Now this seems random, but honestly, I believe with all of my heart that there are no coincidences. And this has been the sole purpose of sharing this book the entire time that I've been writing it, from the first words to the countless hours that we've put into editing it, and then trying to share it. Oh, and it's also hilarious because I did not expect to see my book with this cover of a different book inside by this person, Dr. George Peter Omegan. And it even says, I think it's by a different publisher than my publisher, which really I don't understand at all. So, let's see what happened. Good thing, this is why quality control is important. Because, like, what if I didn't look inside and I said, here's my book? They would be so confused.
Yeah.
And I just realized that we had this book, which has a hidden book inside of it. Honestly, this one could have anything inside of it, so let's see what's in here. And it's the correct book. And it's not, it doesn't have the error. It's like there was a ton of ones with errors, and then there was the one where it's a totally different book, and then it came back to being the right book again. But you know what? That book's called Fulfilling God's Will. It's all God's will. Honestly, everything is. So that's why we don't want to just stop and say, oh no, there's an errors in so many of my books. Because it's all God's will. For whatever reason, this is just part of the process. So the current count is that we have 3 books with different books inside.
Perfect for the video, the sneeze.
So, this, when I first encountered this obstacle of the books that have the error inside of it, I didn't really want to deal with it. I've actually had these books for a couple months now, and I didn't want to, and I felt blocked, and I felt that I was discouraged from creating author events because the book had the error and it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like a proper thing to share, so it kind of paused me and stalled me a little bit in the process of sharing Heartfelt. And then but I didn't know until now that there were these other books. That's a whole different book inside the book. And I just asked Elliot, what if I was just a pushover? And I just said, well, you know, mistakes, everybody makes mistakes, and this is, you know, that I'll just deal with it. I'll just take my lot. Being kind is being kind to everybody and being kind to oneself as well. So that means respecting myself and what resources I share. I'm losing my voice for some reason. I should probably stop talking.
Another insight from Lisa. If you are ever losing your voice for something, and I'll tell you,
I'm not going to include
I'll tell you myself as well. If I ever find I'm losing my voice for something, I stop saying it immediately.
Yeah, because the throat chakra is closing. But even if you don't want to speak about chakras, it's like something's happening that's not the best, you know? And it's not a loving, sweet flow of energy through the throat. Something's happening where it's less than sweet. So you see it's opening back up again. I think that maybe I could say it's okay, it's good to be kind, and it's also good to stand up for God's will. Fulfilling God's will.
Yeah.
Let's say that. That one, maybe I can say that one. They did well on the hardcover ones.
They did. That's great.
Uh-oh. Jenga!
Jenga. Jenga time.
There's only one left.
Jenga
One
time. I'll help you out, but I can't record at the same
Here,
time.
let me. No, you have to help me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's too heavy.
Temporary pause, everyone.
So I'll count these very quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And I think there were also about pin that I sold, which I had ordered them. They came exactly perfectly in time for a retreat, and I believe at least 10 of the ones that were sold also had this error, so that would bring this number to 40. They still bought them, even though they saw the error in it, but still, it's not. There's a better let's just say there is a better version of this that's kind of meant to be in circulation. So, and they were also, a lot of the people in the spiritual retreat were very close friends and just beautiful hearts who I've shared a connection with throughout practicing Reiki Tumo and open heart meditation. I was just actually noticing a lot of synchronicities, and synchronicities are when things happen and they kind of like, it's almost like metaphorically a bell is sounding, like something's coming back into your life and it's synchronizing with some other part of your life, particularly things that are very beautiful. And to me, synchronicity is really the language of God. It's one of the metaphors that I talk about in Heartfelt is like our life comes together like the golden braid being woven by the hands of God. And it's like every synchronicity that comes up is just one more thread that's connected with the entire braid and coming together in sync. So this is one of them. I just opened this page and there's some letter by a lady named Melba. And Melba is a woman who I've been communicating with as I am a practitioner for a wellness center in Torrance, which is the first of its kind in the area. And I'm a Reiki practitioner there. And that's just a beautiful synchronicity. Another one that I just found was in this map, also included in it. Wow, this is a really special book. I just saw this. They donate 90% of the proceeds to orphans, elderly, missionaries. Wow, that's really beautiful. That's incredible. So then also on this map is Nepal, made it on here. And I actually co-wrote a documentary on Nepal, and I feel a very deep heart connection with that beautiful country. And the documentary is called Developing Destinations. It's showing in film festivals all over the world right now. And it's a nonprofit meant to help the people of Nepal. And the series is actually meant to help and touch in with countries all over the world and to bring aid and awareness and a helping hand, particularly for this documentary. We're focusing on countries after a disaster, which can happen, and which did happen in Nepal and in many other countries. So that's just one more synchronicity. I mean, there's tons of them. And I just followed my heart into saying, you know what, I need to do something about these books, and I can't just be stalled because there was a publishing error. And I have to be an active voice. This has to be a two-way loving communication with Source. And I'm grateful because I know that this will be remedied in a special way. And also I'm really grateful to be connected with the people who shared this book inside of my book. Whatever it is. I wonder if some people got Heartfelt inside of their book. To me, that's kind of special. This is a special person who wrote this book. They're giving 90% of their proceeds to help people. That's a big heart right there. So I'm really excited to see what comes of this. Thanks for being here.